This clip has been making the rounds on the internet, and I want to talk about it. It is a podcast, a guy who has a YouTube channel, Patrick Bet David, I think his name is. And he has a man named Peter Schiff on, and they're talking about how they feel about voting. As though voting and the requirements for voting are not contained clearly, concisely within the pages of this document, the United States Constitution. You see, it's these same dipshits who wave their constitutions around. I don't know that this Patrick guy does, or Peter Schiff specifically, but certainly their ideological counterparts do. They pretend to revere the contents of this document, the fundamental foundations of our laws, of our rights that are not granted to us by this document, but protected by this document. And it is a right to vote. To participate in self-governance is a right, not a privilege. It's not something that's granted to us, like a driver's license. I'm going to play this clip, and I want you to witness the abject jackassery that is on display freely and openly, just broadcast. They are proud of these positions that they hold. These are just a couple of rich dipshits who want to tie voting to how much money you have, how much money you generate, how much taxes that you pay. And this Peter Schiff guy goes into a real racist territory here, justifying poll taxes and some of the Jim Crow era disenfranchisement, and thinks we should go back to that. Prepare yourself. This is a nightmare scenario that conservatives want to inflict on Americans. It is their step-by-step plan to end democracy in America. And if they can't end it, they're going to squelch it. They're going to diminish the reach and power of democracy. Watch this.
I think it's earning the right to vote by a certain amount of behavior you do to earn the right to vote. Meaning, I'm okay with a 16-year-old kid voting if he made $40,000 in income that year, paid, say, I don't know, $10,000 in taxes. You deserve to vote more than a 32-year-old that's never paid taxes.
Yeah, well,
I want the concept of somebody contributing to society that's doing something.
We used to have those type of requirements. People had poll taxes, literacy tests, property taxes, all sorts of things.
We're going to pause it right there. It's interesting that Peter Schiff here, rich guy, dipshit, moron, he just brushes right over that. People used to have poll taxes, literacy tests. People. What people is it you're talking about that you're not really coming out and saying, Peter Schiff? Is it black folks? Were poll taxes and literacy tests put on white people? Even poor white people? No, they were not. It was all part of a systematic effort to keep blacks from the franchise of voting, to which they were guaranteed under the Constitution of the United States. And you want to bring that back? While Patrick Bet David talks about earning the right. You don't earn a right, you abject moron. The 14-year-old, he earns it through money, then he can vote, he says. So poor people, no vote. Disabled people who can't work, no vote. Sorry. Only the wealthy, only the rich, only the income generators. Spoken like two dipshit rich guys who want to keep the power to themselves. Because if you broaden the net of people who participate in democracy, that's a world they don't want. The outcome from that would be an America that is distasteful to these rich dipshits. Let's let them continue.
Because remember, the whole idea, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Nobody has a right to vote. It's a privilege. And the whole idea is good government. The goal is to get good government, not everybody voting. And if you get better government by restricting the electorate, then that's better than having everybody vote and have bad government. So, if you look at the rights that you have, life, liberty, happiness, property, voting is not a right. I mean, nobody has a right to vote, right? That is a privilege, and that privilege can be restricted.
All right, we're going to stop it again. Doing something I don't normally do here. Better government, good government. According to whom, Peter Schiff? According to you. And how do we collectively come to the determination of what is good government or better government than we have? We do that through voting. So if you restrict voting from people who may have a different opinion about what good or better government is, then your way is naturally going to prevail. That isn't democracy. That isn't a democratic republic which has representatives make decisions for us who are themselves elected democratically. Again, a democratic republic is a form of democracy, whether dipshits like it or not. And as far as the right to vote not being a right, just a moment, let me, I'm just trying to find in the Constitution the list of privileges that are protected. It's got to be here somewhere, right? I mean, this is the Constitution of the United States of America. Certainly, there's a list of privileges. I can't seem to find the list of privileges that Peter Schiff, Brainiac, is talking about. Maybe I'll just reread it again for the 10,000th time to find these privileges that aren't really rights. Conservatives will twist, they will warp, they will sully the very principles that they claim to stand by. The Constitution guarantees us, it guarantees to protect these fundamental rights. They whine and they wail about this being the freest country, the greatest country in the world, while trying to keep marginalized groups, poor people, disabled people, black people, keep them out of power, away from the process. Rights for which people have died. Not Peter Schiff, not Patrick Bet David. They're not doing any fighting. Fatriots, certainly. Maybe read this document a couple times through before you open up your yaps talking about what rights and privileges we have, gentlemen. What do you think out there? I would love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you appreciate what I do, my work here, if I bring you value, if I do something for you that brings you value, like that 14-year-old given $10,000 in taxes, please consider supporting my work, helping me produce these videos. Click the join button below. Become a channel member for $2 a month on YouTube. You can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Not just for the podcast, absolutely supports the work we do here on YouTube. And follow me on social media. If you share this video, tag me on social media. I'd love to see it. I'm at Dollemore. I'll see you there. Be genuine. Take care of one another.